Well, you'll have a slight frown at that realization, as this is not the way to solve the current problem.
While stomping, presumably all of you are following behind the marble golem as it weaves its way through, clearing a wide berth for itself.
Certainly, I'm following behind.
Indeed.
Jasmine's really not used to Horizon. This place is really, really strange.
Yes. Before you approach one of the magnificent gates. Oh, let me tell you about the gates. Let me tell you about the gates, Griffin God. Along with the shifting streets. Because after all, I mean, you're a scholar of the Forge. You've done some stuff for the Archmage in your day. The streets of Horizon, sort of like around like the Tower of Blue in Dragonhall, again a comparison there, tend to shift due to the whims of powerful mages. Effectively, like the city does have a life of its own, and sometimes the city decides that it wants to be organized in a different way. Horizon adheres to some sense of order which goes beyond like a comprehension of like how like law typically works. When you can't take a flying road that the Wizard King built, or when you can't take one of the amazing rampways, what you end up taking are gates, which are mammoth portals which connect you from one part of the city to another. And they are effectively your only means of getting around. It's fairly easy even for natives to get lost in Horizon. As a result, it could cost you a lot of time and sanity just wandering around here.
So what you're telling me is this is effectively the Planescape Torment type place.
Yes, to an extent, yes. I mean, it would be like Sigil in the aspect that there are a bunch of gates and they can take you other
Thank you.
places, but it's not like Sigil in the fact that like all roads like outside of Horizon don't lead to Horizon. You can't like, well, I mean, you usually can't portal from like someplace else and get to Horizon. There's also access to the overworld here. There are navigation checks that are typically made, and one of the entries that are in the book would be Horizon once you dead and you use a gate. Which in that case, the gate teleports you somewhere dark and potentially lethal. Yes, the city does pulse with a personality of its own, which mirrors that of Pertinax Bluebane. Thanks, Pertinax. Before you reach one of the pulsing, thrumming gates of eldritch power, which looks mostly stable, the marble golem will turn its head and it will say to all of you, "Your affairs are unsuitable to discuss so freely. Be careful of where you speak and to whom. Now more than ever, you are being observed."
I'm used to the feeling at this point, but thank you for the warning, statue.
Keep that in mind.
Bess looks at Aurelia, frowning at her slur.
Tempus will be staring at the marble golem.
Yes, thank you for the warning, Astrid.
The golem will step through the gate.
She is masterfully constructed.
No, it is not. I doubt this one was built by the dwarves. So yes, she'll step through the gate too.
It is a disconcerting feeling as your body is teleported across the metropolis. An odd sense of deja vu, in part, because it's as if you've been here before at some point in your life, yet you could never recall at any moment where you actually would have been here. Before you appear next to the golem again, who proceeds walking through the avenues while magicians and magisters laugh and like their little familiars like prance around and chatter with each other. It is certainly an eclectic city. Tomorrow, the golem continues as it strides, I will guide you at dawn to my master. He is not the only one who seeks an audience. Emissaries across the Dragon Empire are here for you. They will seek you and petition for your aid. They will offer much. They will ask even more.
Well, that's unusual. But I'm sure we can find the place where we can do the most good.
You are bounced through several more portals. The golem will even admit one time that it has gotten lost. Before putting you at your suggested destination, a secluded inn tucked away in one corner? It's hard to tell of Horizon. Which, peering inside the rather secluded inn, features a wonderfully, decorated dining room with chandeliers, with beautiful dancing lights and a whole kaleidoscope of different colors, a front desk manned by a singular individual, and there is no activity in the main hall. There's, a beautiful bar and, a gala area where there's a grand piano. There's no activity in there either. And there's so many, several stories of, sleeping quarters. And, that's where you folks are directed. Each of you gets your very own sumptuous sleeping quarter. Your very own personal room that you can bathe and rest and go to sleep in. The golem will say, "My master asks that you enjoy your evening. He knows you have endured much. Get an early rest."
Thank you, Astrid.
The golem will stomp away.
So there's no one here at all but us.
There is the wonderful little fellow who is manning the front desk. He is a gnome of nomenclature that your dwarven brain cannot pronounce or even remember. Fucking gnomes, man. And he will say that this is quite ordinary. Everyone is enjoying their sleeping quarters. That you should rest, and if you wish to join the party, get yourself some sleep.
Thank you, Charles. Tempus knows that's not his name, but he can't pronounce it, so he's calling him Charles.
Sure. The gnome smiles as if he's used to people getting his name wrong.
Very wrong, apparently.
Yes.
Aranas will look to Ulia. Does she seem to be discomforted by the powerful magical aura of everything here?
She does not, though when you look at her, she'll lean next to Aranas and whisper, "Archmages always show-offs."
Yeah. He'll basically whisper back, "This place makes me uncomfortable, on edge. It is not as it should be."
She will offer a small smile at Aranas.
Yeah.
Yes, each of you gets your very own room. Wonderfully little fucking, servants, magical servants, can easily heat up water for you, so you all can, bathe in luxury, and there's lots of beautiful little scents, and, perfumes and shampoos that you can rub all over your bodies.
Aranas has mist perfumes.
Tempus, bizarrely, will probably spend quite a lot of time with Aurelia and Geráck and try and catch up on things. He probably doesn't want to be in his room on his own.
What's that elven perfume? It's good stuff.
Oh, by the way, since I know you're totally thinking about it, Goger.
I was thinking about it, actually. The moment we left the ship, oh, maybe I should.
I thought maybe you would have learned to roleplay with her at some point during the travel.
Indeed so. So she is here with us now in the hotel?
Yeah, she'll get her own room.
Alright. Yeah, Geráck will sort of go ask and see how she's doing and if she needs anything.
Well, this is... Farnir will say that this is She feels almost like the sailors do. She's never been to Horizon before, and this is really overwhelming to take in. She also doesn't understand how this, like, secluded inn could be, like, successful or even meaningful when there's absolutely, like, no food out, there's no one at the bar, there's no activity here other than just, like, the one gnome manning the front desk. Although a hot bath sounds amazing.
I feel a bit uneasy here, too. It's just weird.
He says, yes, but you've made some friends, and certainly the Empire would not act against you and your group in their hour of need. Right, brother?
And of course not. Of course not. But it's just not used to this. So.
It's not quite home, no.
No, indeed not. And he will get a sad look on his face.
So will she. But yes, heated baths. Your clothes are instructed to be laid out. If there's anything in particular you want cleaned, and that will be cleaned before you wake up.
They'll clean my armor, I
Very
guess.
nice.
All of it.
They'll
yeah.
do that too.
Good.
Haven't had a great amount of time to do washing on the road and the horrible wet swamps and all that.
Yeah.
It's just so nice.
Yeah, to have a bit, but he's still uneasy, and he probably, maybe even, I mean, he doesn't join any party. That's certain. He probably goes to bed early and has eerie dreams.
Oh, don't worry. I'll take care of that, Manaki.
Okay.
Don't
Well,
you
then.
worry about that.
I wield a certain item.
Yeah. Geráck will take a hot bath. No perfumes, though. He doesn't really like that sort of thing.
We have some dwarven sense of beer to remind you of home.
Oh, that's
Cultured.
good.
I think Jasmine spends ages looking at the wall like.
You know, if you want one of the magical servants to rebraid your beard, they can even be instructed to do that too.
Rebraid the beard, Jesus.
Yes.
Very dwarven.
Yes.
I don't like anyone touching my beard.
Okay. No touching the beard.
No.
Uh,
They throw freely.
Tempus will probably I can imagine since he's hanging around with Geráck and Aurelia, he'll see this. He will not pipe up. He doesn't want to know what things for the Forgeborn. He'll avoid the bath. But
Yes.
he doesn't.
And the gnome will actually come up to Tempus and say, "Oh, don't you worry, by the way, little one. Although you're made of machinery, Horizon understands your needs too." And, he will basically be told that if he lays down and goes to rest in that bed, he'll go to sleep too.
Tempus's eyes quirk. He's not believing this. He's like, Charles, you're joking with me.
Stone-faced shakes his head.
Charles?
Stone-faced shakes his head. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself.
Tempus will give him that kind of piercing eye look, where his eyes sort of close in.
You can roll a sense motive on the fucking gnome whose name I can't even fucking fathom. Skill
On
test.
Charles.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll 1d20 plus 8. This is wisdom probably.
Yes.
Plus trickster.
Yes.
I guess.
Dead serious.
Okay, Charles, you're on. The Tempest will just go straight to bed then. He's a case of he's still a little bit doubtful here, thinks this is all a good bluff.
Is there anyone who does not want to go to sleep? I can speak that both the priestess and Geráck's sister will be doing so.
Alright. Geráck is a bit uneasy here. He will, what will he do? I was thinking about setting a trigger at my door or something so I hear if someone enters.
Might be hard for them to come in and oh no, it's okay. You'll have your stuff outside that you want them to clean. So what do you have inside the room with you, Goger?
Oh, my Warhammer, I guess.
Okay. No one cleans the Warhammer.
People are not cleaning the tooth of the green either. It's it's not something you just sort of let
Yeah,
people hold.
The Tooth of the
I
Green's
also
like,
have-
yes.
Yes, weaker minds.
Yeah, I
Also-
have all my magic stuff basically, and the stuff in my
The
pack.
magic items will protest if you bring them. They want to be clean too. They want to be polished and buffed and
Oh.
like loved on.
But
Even your ancestral helmet's like the last time it's been given a proper cleaning. Everyone's magic items are like, you use this once. Come on.
Jasmine will certainly be cleaning hers by hand, partially because one of them might be compelling her to constantly check it.
That's true.
Tooth, you're not going out of my.
The Tooth of the Green is very displeased at Aranas.
It is a lot of the time.
That is
I will-
factually correct.
I will clean you myself.
There's like a sigh and then like an okay.
So Geráck will sit on his bed and clean his magic items.
Aurelia is most likely going to take a multiple hour hot bath, followed by
It's like
Quite
the
some
water never gets cooler. You just stay in there. It just remains the temperature that Aurelia wants.
That's
that is
amazing.
witchcraft.
Yes.
And then she will be confused by how the hell people can sleep on beds this soft. This is just
Oh yes, absolutely sumptuous sleeping quarters.
it's like
And,
sleeping in a
and, as
cloud.
and as Aurelia is complaining, the bed begins to stiffen beneath her.
Oh my. This is the most disconcerting thing so far.
This is what happens when you're epic tier in Horizon, the City of Wonders. Sumptuous land. You're not even paying for this.
Which Jasmine will be after she's had her nice long bath and cleaned her weaponry and her armor. She is going to make her way downstairs, not so much armed, just to go to the bar for a moment. and spend-
Oh, it's in your room.
Oh, okay. A bar in my room. That's even better. And Jasmine will spend some time. Yeah, I assume there's a window of some kind.
There can be if you want.
As Jasmine looks out into the sky and just kind of spends a few hours musing to herself of everything that's happened thus far. Kind of contemplative. Most notably thinking about what she witnessed only a few days ago with Aranas.
Okay. Hey, since the first person who's going to be doing this among the PCs is actually going to be Tempus of all people, Tempus is like, alright, yeah, you're on. Alright. He, like, lays his head down, like, I can't fucking go to... Your consciousness fades for some indeterminate time. Like, say you're, like, thrust into the cube and you're not able to keep track of what's happening around you. And then, Tempus, you find yourself opening your eyes to this, surreal version of your room. There's a melting pot of different whirls and eddies and colors around, from where the bath is to where the full body-length mirror is. Beyond your door, you can hear the clinking of glasses, gentle laughing, and the sound of a piano being played.
Tempus will get up. He didn't get undressed to get in bed. He's still in the stuff. He was just trying to lie down. So he'll get up. I imagine a bit groggy, confused by this sensation, but follow the sounds of the merriment.
Yes, it looks like the main hall and the bar area that were empty whenever you walked in here, are in this sort of like surreal dream state, are completely full of patrons and nobility and other welcome travelers laughing and talking merrily, along with a cast of guardian animals that stand by the portals into and out of the inn, warning people not to leave. There is quite a fete going on in the bar area, and someone is very much enjoying themselves on the piano, playing delightful tunes.
Tempus, obviously, he'll just be stiffed out. He'll go back into his room. change into some of the more nicer equipment and clothing that he has in his bags.
It looks really awkward to, like, dress yourself in these clothes that you're used to seeing in meat space, for lack of a better word, and in, like, in this dream space. It's almost as if they, like all of the, like, colorful flashes, like, illustrate parts of your personality. Like, you could almost read them on the very fabric of the clothing.
Tempus is really thrown by this. He doesn't understand, but he'll decide to just sort of filter in, mingle with the crowd, wander through it, see what's really happening.
Well, it's quite a fairly, like 20-ish people here, but they are very much enjoying themselves, and Tempus is most certainly welcome, as is Farnir, whenever she arrives, as is Priestess Aurelia. Despite her exotic appearance, exotic is apparently nothing new in the city of Horizon, and she is treated just as well, much to her bemusement. Aranas, your typical dreams that plague you whenever you go to sleep are not met at all. You wake up in a similar situation to what Tempus did. The sounds of laughter and merriment echoing through your door, down the hallway, the clinking of glasses, and the rampant playing of a piano.
That is very disconcerting. These dreams have always been there, so I suppose the first thing he'll do is check if the tooth is...
The tooth is there, and staring at it is almost mind-bending for Aranas. Staring directly at the tooth is almost like a direct portal to him standing before the crystal lake itself, staring down at where the green is entombed. And it's almost staring at it, he can see the green fog, the seditious mist, attempting to worm its way into his mind.
That is very disconcerting. He will figure that perhaps this isn't entirely real. Perhaps this is some sort of dream. Is there anything? Can he reach out to his divine reservoir and?
Yes.
Well, then he will sheath the tooth very carefully, and set up the barriers that he usually has in his mind to keep it at bay.
Yes.
And slowly...
The mental barriers almost seemed to briefly flicker in front of his face as physical manifestations, as he prepares his mind against the tooth.
As he will, the mind of a dragon slayer, so to speak, go to investigate what in the world is going on.
Looks like people are feasting and laughing and enjoying themselves out in the main hall and bar area. You've got Tempus out there? What's Tempus doing?
Tempus is sharing stories. He decided to start warming up and talking to people. And after getting a very inviting and warm welcome back, he'll open up a bit more, sharing a bit more stories, a bit more adventure.
He has a number of paramours who have latched onto him. There's Geráck's sister, who is looking on with wide-eyed wonder, and there is a quietly bemused Priestess Aurelia, who does not look all surprised or perturbed. In this dream haze, gazing into the priestess almost gives a ghost image of feathery wings, that's like coming from her shoulders.
What if... I mean, this seems to be a dream space in some fashion, some sort of magical construct. If Aranas looks upon Tempus, is there any other things that are revealed, as it seems to be for most people?
For Tempus, unlike with everyone else, it's a different sight. Although his clothes do seem to display shining bits of his personality, for the moment he's like a cold, like vacuous space, where just like not much really broadcasts or transmits from him, other than when he speaks. There's no real evidence of like his inner guts like who he is out there on display in this dream space. Perhaps as if he were a cold construct.
Aranas will turn his eyes upon himself, in a way. How much is he displaying?
His paragon of virtue and faith, which had previously begun to manifest physically on him after the resurrection, is now on full display here. He is radiating with light and divinity.
Curious. Well, he will be very cautious as he enters the room, and try to be aware of any danger that might present itself in some fashion.
For Geráck, this is same experience. Waking up, as it were, in the surreal landscape of your room, with your magic items next to you, and the sounds of laughter and merriment coming through the door.
Geráck does not like this at all. He will look upon his magic items at first. Is there anything unusual with them?
No, other than only to gaze at your heirloom is to feel like you're gazing at an entire historical timeline of your house, stretching back through the years.
Alright. Geráck will look upon his helmet then for a bit, I guess. Just staring into it. Contemplating. After that, he will sort of walk out into the main hall. Not really talking to anyone, just observing what's going on.
Aranas is there, Tempus is there, Priestess Aurelia is there, and your sister is there, who is absolutely delighted that you've come. She rushes over to hug you and says, "Look at all of this!" Her eyes are wide with wonder.
Well, yes, it's certainly something. Although, like before, it seems a bit weird to me.
She'll punch Geráck in the shoulder and say, "Lighten up. Even you deserve to take a break for once in your life."
I suppose. I guess this is rather wonderful when you think about it.
Yes. The same is true for Jasmine when she finally gets around to falling asleep. The sounds of laughter and merriment and piano playing filtering through her door.
She'll listen for a second to the piano playing, considering, looking over to her well-folded up armor, belt, and the bow sitting on by the side with, of course, a sword. Anything particularly odd about them?
No, only that to look at the your heraldic item yourself of House Vayne is to see a deep sense of pride being conveyed back at you.
Jasmine kind of smiles looking at that, in thought for a second, before, still dressed in really more, very, much more casual attire, though casual for a noble, put it as you will.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't, as it was, she didn't bring really, night clothes, but she brought, they're nice enough.
Night clothes.
It's still, off-duty clothes in a sense. And, she'll kind of quickly, brushing herself up to quickly go have a look what's outside. Making sure she has her dagger in her belt because she has no idea what's going on.
Yes.
And also taking that same holy symbol from before in kind of contemplation, just to quickly go have a look. Yes. Downstairs.
The same activity is transpiring as has for all of the others. Tempus is out there. Aranas is out there eyeing with a disconcerted look. Geráck's sister is laughing, and Geráck perhaps looking dourly at everything because he's suspicious. And the priestess with a look of bemusement on her face as she watches perhaps your entire group as they struggle with this environment.
Geráck is really pretending to have fun. His sister feel better.
As Jasmine will look around the room, seeing all of this. A second of energy of mind going, what the hell's going on? And she kind of comes to this kind of realization of what's happening here. And will will quickly put that holy symbol back away in kind of her pocket, and then kind of look around and, she hasn't had time to lay back in a while. She's going to take it.
All right.
Yeah. Aranas will, if he can meet Geráck's eyes, basically nod for him that it's okay to let go. Aranas will be the watcher.
He'll be the sober driver.